Ooh,
I literally just
made it.
was muttering. I was just muttering. I've been watching some crazy ass movies.
Like what?
Oh well, I'm gonna save this one for a little bit, but actually, no, I'll get right into it. Fuck it.
I'm gonna save it for right now.
I mean, Kevin Smith, like, let's just talk about him for a second because
He has a movie out?
no, it came so so like I like Clerks. Like Clerks is like super, I love Clerks, but like I loved Mallrats and Dogma and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Like just absolutely obsessed with those. Dude, I've tried giving Chasing Amy so many chances, and every time I watch it, I hate it more and more.
It's not really a comedy. It's more of like a loser's bizarre sixth grade story about like encountering a lesbian.
Yeah, he falls in love with a lesbian. Like
I've never seen it. That was
I've
the
never
one.
seen it. Yeah,
I've seen Tusk, and I haven't seen Chasing Amy.
that is the exact movie that I was gonna get into.
I would
But
love
hold
to
on,
talk
hold on,
about
hold
it.
on, hold on, hold on. Before you move to that movie, Chasing Amy, Kim, I can just give you a brief. It's really all you need to know. And the
Yeah.
baby is sleeping, so I'm going to try to keep it really low. It's Joey Lauren Adams doing this for an hour and 30 minutes. Holland, you don't know if you had a and it sounds like she smoked a pack of Marlboro Reds and then did helium. It's insane and it's like nauseating to the brain. But go on, Kyle.
No, I do
actually
not
wanna
know.
see it
I
now.
do not like Chasing Amy. Like I don't really care for it that much. Like I've probably watched it maybe like 5 or 6 times. And every time I'm like, I'm a little bit older, maybe I'll appreciate it more this time. And every time
You
I watch
appreciate
it,
it less.
I hate it more and more every time I watch it. But like,
Yet you still keep watching it.
No, I'm done. I'm
Seventh
never gonna
time's a
watch it ever
try.
again.
I think it's gonna be good this time.
it's gonna be.
Maybe if I get a little more
I'm a
drunk.
little bit older. Maybe I'll appreciate it this time.
Yeah. No, but
of
we
course,
definitely need to talk about Tusk.
Dude,
So,
Tusk is.
has everyone seen it?
no.
Tyler,
I've
no,
just
Ryan?
Seen the trailer.
You've just
and
seen the
some
trailer.
clips.
You gotta watch the
aware
whole
of
thing,
it.
dude.
I'm
totally
intrigued
blind.
by what you guys are gonna say because I hear it's like one of the worst movies ever.
It's unbelievable.
It is.
It's unbelievable.
Well, so I came across it because I was looking up every movie that A24 put out, and they have like it's like the title of the movie, the director, and then a brief description about it. And I'm just kind of scrolling through. I'm like, Kevin Smith, and I'm like, dude, I feel like I've heard of this before, but like maybe I have or something. But like, yeah, it's a treat. It's not a treat.
Yeah,
it's
you guys
not a
gotta watch
treat.
it. Like, so
I don't. I say don't. I don't recommend it.
I do. I say you should watch it. So there is like to give it like a brief synopsis without ruining everything. You know, obviously.
Please ruin it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ruin it, dude.
I beg you.
No problem. So whatever his name, I even
Justin
forgot his
Long.
name. Justin Long. Justin Long is like he's like a reporter, right?
He's a
or
podcaster.
like a journalist, a podcaster.
He's a podcaster with Haley Joel Osment.
That's right. Yeah, with Haley Joel Osment. So he goes. You're gonna have to actually give more details. I haven't seen it in years, but I know like the brief overview of it, where he goes to this guy's mansion or something like that, and he has like an interview. Yeah.
It's basically there's this like internet viral kid. So he goes to see this kid in Canada. But am I just going to give the whole breakdown, or should we just give a brief synopsis? Anyway, long story short, he meets with this old guy. The old guy drugs him. He chains him up to a chair, and then he starts turning him into a walrus because a walrus saved him in like a boat crash that he had like years ago when he was a kid, and a walrus saved him. So he wants named Mr. Tusk. So he wants to turn Justin Long into this walrus. And Justin Long's name in the movie is Wallace. Yeah,
you get it, like walrus.
Yeah, and dude,
but
it's
no,
just,
so
yeah, go ahead.
There's parts of that movie where I go back to where I have like I'd like to like try and put myself into that position to see how I would feel about it. And there's like a part the main part where it starts everything. Justin Long gets drugged. He, passes out, and the next day he wakes up and his legs are cut off, like at the knee. So the guy goes, something happened. I had to take your legs off or something like that. So he wakes up and has like no legs below the knee. And I sat there and I'm like, okay, how would you react if you like obviously in a stranger's house and he amputated your legs off? And so that starts the whole insane thing about him being obsessed with walruses. And then the best part of the movie is the very end, where so he gets overall, like over time, he becomes more and more warped into a walrus, like
More
gets his-
walrusy.
yeah, like gets his skin stretched over his legs so that he's now like he has a flipper.
And I assume this
He
is all
had-
done via montage with upbeat music.
Yeah,
of him
It's
getting
90s 80s
blubber.
montage.
Oh, it's an intense dialogue. Only Kevin Smith knows how to deliver.
getting his legs hacked off too.
I'm walking on sunshine. Yeah.
And then Jay
No,
and Silent
so-
Bob came out, and they're like, "Oh man, you're a walrus."
No.
Oh!
So the best part is, his friends find out where he is. And they just go, "I'm sorry, like he's too far gone. He's just a walrus now.
He's too far walrus.
He's too much of a walrus now." And they put him in the zoo, and like he just lives out the rest of his life in the zoo. And his friends come and throw him fish, and he just lives in an exhibit now.
Oh, so hold on.
Tyler,
I'm
are you
looking
looking
at
at a
pictures.
picture?
I'm
Are you
looking at
I knew it.
pictures.
I knew it. I can see his face.
Can feel free to share
Pull
the
up a
screen.
clip.
Yeah,
Pull up a clip.
Pull it up to your camera. Put it up to your camera.
Oh, just hold the pick up.
Yeah, dude, look at this. I know exactly the pic that you're going to show. It's the very end pic. Exactly.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
do they at least like he lives at the zoo, I get it. But do they try to make it seem like he's underwater and now has like walrus powers, or he's just like on a rock?
He's literally just a freak, and now they put him in a zoo, and they're just like, "Sorry, man, you're just a walrus now," and he accepts it. He just like,
Dude, it's Kevin Smith trying to do like an Eli Roth hostile, gross
exactly.
out Green Inferno. Like
it's like human
seems like
centipede.
that, but
Human
tasteless.
Centipede. Like
It's human
yeah,
centipede. Yeah,
exactly. Like it's that caliber, and like I wouldn't even give it that much credit to
I
be honest
trust
with you.
that in the hands of Kevin Smith.
And it's
Wow.
part of like a trilogy that he's doing where like there's like these side characters in it that are in another movie that he made, which I refuse to
Yoga
watch.
hosers.
And then yes, exactly. And then there's a third one coming out called Moose Jaws. That's Jaws with a moose. And it's all based in Canada.
wow.
A wise friend of the pod here once said, "There's international money to be made."
There is still
Um,
money to be made.
A lot of international money left to be made.
Or maybe I shouldn't even say there's international money to be made. There's international money to fund a movie. Like that is probably the bigger, because I've always wondered that, like, how do these movies recoup their cost? There's no way that anybody just film. I guess everybody shoots digital, so it's not that expensive, but just making a low budget movie is still like a couple $1,000,000. How are you getting a couple $1,000,000 out of people to make Moose Bat or whatever? Like,
There's got to be
Moose
a whole business plan where they
That sounds more
show
intriguing.
these guys, they show these producers, like, this is how you're going to get your ROI. This is your return on investment. This is how we're going to make money. Like, look at Tusk.
Malaysia.
Listen, people in Thailand love Tusk.
Did this have
A
a
lot.
theatrical release? This had a theatrical release.
No.
Dude,
Yes, it did.
I
Oh, yeah.
kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
remember something about
It did. It was like a
it.
bigger thing. So
Like,
I
What
actually rented
absolutely
it.
sick fucker greenlit this? First of all, like, how did this make it past
A24.
the table read? How did this make it to a table read? A pitch meeting? Like,
Justin Law. Justin Law.
Let's
sitting
bring
with a bunch of
Justin
other
in. Yeah.
actors.
Justin, let's bring
For a
Justin in.
table read. All right. You jams
You got the
two
part.
piano keys into your mouth.
Okay.
And
Okay,
You
I got some
respond with-
chopsticks. Put these chopsticks in and let's see what you do here.
Like
You
And
got
it
the
looks
part.
like Wallace lets out a loud yell of sorrow. Go ahead, Justin. Okay,
Very
we got a
powerful.
movie here.
Kevin Smith had to have funded this one completely himself.
So
Or
that's,
you said this was A24?
Yes.
dude, I doubt he has the money to be financing 3 films on his own.
I mean,
Somebody's backing these things that just
nah. Now that you said it's A24, it makes sense because that's on some
But-
midsummer
then-
ridiculousness.
I mean, on the flip side, I just rewatched The Witch and Lighthouse this last week, and
never saw
They're both-
Lighthouse. Do
How'd
like
the
The
Lighthouse
Witch.
do you? How'd the Lighthouse
mean,
do
dude,
you
I
the
mean,
second time around?
the first time I watched it, I thought it was whatever. The second time I watched it, I thought it was whatever. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, The Witch
Yeah.
I thought was okay the first time. I thought it was way better the second time I watched it
Same.
for sure.
I gotta
Exact same.
rewatch it. Yeah, because I
Exact
watched The
same.
Lighthouse last week or 2 weeks ago, but I haven't seen The Witch since it came out. Pretty much, I should rewatch that.
The Witch just has like a very cool like vibe, which is
Yeah.
like means you're probably a good filmmaker because you actually care about like creating an ambiance and not
It's all
Yeah.
natural lighting.
yeah.
It's
like
just
it's pretty
candlelight
cool.
and natural lighting of the. I think they filmed that in Canada as well.
And the way they talk is cool too. It just is. I like things where it's like, oh, it feels like you're back in that time. Now, obviously, it goes
Yeah.
off the rails in like a cool horror way, but
Mm.
it's a good movie. You're like, whoa, wait, people still make these?
Yeah,
So,
it's just
uh,
it's definitely
yeah.
an interesting take at it for sure.
Yeah, so
The Northman might have potential.
yeah.
I'm gonna see that. I want to see that.
What were you
for
saying,
sure.
Cam?
Oh, I was gonna say. So Justin Long, this is where the old man folds his your penis skin around your body.
Now
And
we're
action.
looking for more of a depressed sigh. on this
Have you
one.
seen The Witch?
Okay, yes, I can do
What
that.
Now,
year
imagine
What
that.
year did that come out? What year
Which
did
one?
it come out?
My
I think
dick.
2014.
Before they stopped letting Kevin Smith make movies.
I can't.
And Justin Long.
Yeah,
And
poor
Justin
guy.
Long on top. Friend of the pod.
Good
Friend of the pod,
man.
well, I'm on. Maybe we can kickstart his career.
Well, I mean, if I'll
with
say
this-
anything
the press from this pod.
positive about Kevin Smith, like I said, I love those like Mallrats. I'm obsessed with, and I think Dogma is his best movie. I mean, James Silent Bob is obviously
Yeah.
one of the funniest movies too, but I just think like Dogma just has like it's such a good story, and like it's so like I don't know, like it's
interesting. It's like a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And
the satire.
a good
in
idea
it,
can
you know?
propel you a long way. I was
And
thinking
that
about that the other
same
day.
mind created Tusk.
Yes. Well, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back to me was always the sequel to Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy wrapped up into one with some other stuff in there too. So like
Sequel to what? Just
to like
They-
because
they
it's those
exist?
characters. It's those characters. Like Jason Lee plays his character from Mallrats
Brody.
and Chasing Amy
Yeah.
in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And
Basically
then,
follows up stories from 3 movies.
yeah. And then obviously Dante or whatever his name is from Clerks who works there. He kind of he has the he has a he's in there just like briefly, but it's kind of like a sequel to all 3 of those like put into one. Before
No, I
he
was
came
just
out with
making fun of
Clerks
you
2,
because
which
like
I didn't like.
sequel implies there's a story that's like
Yeah, I mean
ongoing.
in the
where,
world
like,
of Kevin
that
Smith,
those
of
guys
those
exist.
movies.
Well,
Yeah,
isn't it called like View Askew Universe or something?
View Askew. Yeah.
View Askew Universe. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's over now. It was.
Like
I will give
the-
it props like you did in those
The
era
movie,
movies.
like those
They stand up.
the movie restaurants, like
In Movie.
Jay's
Yeah.
yeah,
Movie The Golden Cow. Yeah, he.
Yeah.
I mean, guy loves being self-referential. I just look at it more of like that, where he's just referencing himself in future movies, not so much that it's a sequel to those movies.
Hey, remember when I did this?
Yeah, that's basically.
No, okay,
what it
so
is.
speaking of Kevin Smith, dude, me and Ryan used to listen to his single
Batman.
podcast series. Yeah, on
Harry
on Harry
Potter.
Potter. So I've never laughed and like cried that hard in my life, like because it's such like our humor of just like him talking like so dirty about the Harry Potter series, and they go through the entire movie, you know, scene by scene, and it's all just like the same thing of like, Harry, pull your dick out right now, you know, like, you know, and dude,
It is Kyle. It is Kevin describing the movies to Scott Mosier, the other producer for all of those movies. So he's like the
Yeah.
View SQ like guy that's not in, you know, behind the camera. So it's, but to Cam's point, he's literally just being like, Hermione, won't you come nibble on my like, but like it kind of makes that he's still telling the like
he still tells the movie, and
movie,
you're like, you could
right.
follow it along,
It's
but he
pretty
adds in little
funny.
quips like that. Where,
And so that's probably another props that I'll give Kevin. He's a really funny storyteller. Like he is
Of
very
course.
funny. Did anybody watch The Bubble?
Sorry.
not yet.
Nah, describe it, please.
I watched Leslie Mann talk about it, and
That's pretty much a movie, anyways,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's not a movie. So there is no way you could consider this a movie other than the fact that it's like 2 hours long, which was baffling.
What's it on?
Anytime
Isn't it like
On Netflix, like immediately, which should tell you no press immediately to
Yeah,
Netflix. What we were
Netflix
talking
is a
about
bad
a
sign.
couple episodes,
Hmm.
the unannounced stream of piles of crap. It's not a movie. So it's like there is no plot.
it's a meta movie within a movie. Type of
But
thing.
you would think that, right? Because I think Tropic Thunder is super funny, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
clearly they were aping off of that like structure. At least I thought they were. It's not. They're basically just it's a bunch of pandemic jokes, which of course are hilarious. Remember when you had to get like
Don't Look Up.
tested, you know, and like quarantine? Like, wasn't that funny? I guess it's just that, and then the rest. And I swear, I'm not lying. There are 5 different full length, like minute long at least, dance numbers, and
Yes.
under the
Yes,
guise
yes.
of this is what kids do on TikTok now. It's
Mm.
crazy. Like, and what do you know? Judd Apatow's daughter's in it, and
Yeah.
she's the main focus. It's crazy.
No, of course.
Anytime I watch an interview with Judd Apatow or Leslie Mann, I play a little over under to see how quick either one of them can mention their daughters.
Are you watching all the interviews? I'm after that Judd Apatow interview.
I'm patiently waiting for everyone.
Yeah, I would not recommend it. It was baffling. But it did lead me to make a little game for us. Let's think of
How quick
immediate
Judd Apatow
signals.
and Leslie Mann can mention their daughters.
Kyle's already won the game.
Wow.
I'm way ahead of you guys.
He's already
Wow,
won the
you're
game.
killing it. I can't understand how I could win. There's I was thinking about this. Think about movie tropes that you immediately know the movie's going to be bad or is a bad movie. And I got two. 2 from that. The first one is dance numbers for
Yep.
comedy, right?
Yep.
Like where you're like that they're dancing, and that's
Yeah.
funny because they're
What's funny
dancing.
about that?
Think about it. Hitch, the movie
All
I
the
just
comedies.
mentioned.
All the comedies.
All rom-coms.
like rom-coms where there's a dance number. I was literally just watching a stupid. Has anybody seen the Dilemma with Kevin James? Hey, Kevin James in 2 of the movies I mentioned. That's probably a good sign for him. Kevin James and Vince Vaughn.
I'll do
We're
the
like-
script, but how many dance numbers are in it? And is Vince Vaughn in it?
You didn't see that where Winona Ryder is Kevin Smith's wife, which is hilarious, and she cheats on him with Channing Tatum, and Vince Vaughn sees it and has to like, should I tell him? Should I not? And that's the movie.
I've seen that trailer.
It came out around the same time as Delivery Man, where it was really when Vince
The movie I'm thinking of is
Follow
what was it?
Couples
Hall Pass.
Retreat.
It was called the Hall Pass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Owen Wilson is in the club, and he's like, "I'm the older white guy. Look at my moves." With like the young hot bartender, and she's like, "Oh, he's so goofy. He's so cute." And I'm like, "This guy's in his 50s. Like, how is this fucking funny?"
The proverbial club scene in
It
every
literally
movie.
is like, "Hey, I'm a free man, so I'm gonna go in the club and Look, I'm so out of it. I have no idea what any of these people are doing.
So Cam, so I've never seen Hall Pass. I've just seen the trailer and I've seen the concept of the movie and what a
I've
Hall Pass
seen
is.
the reviews.
I've seen movies.
Yeah.
Is this or is this not the plot? They get a Hall Pass somehow from their wives, and
Yep.
through a bunch of humiliations and close calls and bullshit, they end
I
up
guess we can't get the
realizing
chicks that we
it
thought we
was
could.
that it wasn't worth it, and that their wives were the best matches that they had.
You nailed
That's
it,
the
man.
movie?
You nailed it. That's it. That's literally
You
it.
nailed it. Happy
It
endings
sounds
all
like
around.
it sounds like reverse good
You
luck
have
Charm.
seen it then.
My question is, do
You're a
either
fan.
him or what's his name,
Jason Sudeikis.
Jason
Yeah.
Sudeikis, do either of them hook up with anyone?
Jason Sudeikis hooks up with the babysitter's mom, and but the thing is, his
And it's played
wife,
for laughs, I assume.
his wife, Christina Applegate,
Hey, let's give a quick shout out to Christina Applegate.
Yeah.
she fucks like a baseball player. So it was kind of like a
But what about in the
wash.
movie?
No, she was actually celibate the entire time. But no, she fucks a guy. She fucks a young baseball player, and then he leaves her because he's like, oh, like
I'm young.
I'm young and I'm
That's
hot.
what
I'm gonna
we
go
do.
get some better.
We're young guys.
Yeah,
And a baseball player.
and he was the opposite, where the babysitter's
Super
mom,
into him.
threw herself into Jason Sudeikis, and he was like, I don't want this anymore. This is gross. I don't want this. And then on the other side is Owen Wilson and Pam Greasley, whatever her name is.
Jenna Fisher.
Yeah, Jenna Fisher, where he has this hot blonde bartender who's like super into him, and they get all the way to where she's undressing with him, and he just goes like, I gotta go find my wife. And Jenna Fisher, same exact thing on the opposite side. She gets a guy who's been super into her, treats her well, and then at the end just goes like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And then they find each other, and it all works out.
Cam,
All
you
of
seem
these
so
movies are
annoyed.
getting dumped.
You seem
You've seen the
genuinely
movie.
Annoyed.
It's annoying as hell.
I gotta
That's
tell
all
this
you literally-
plot right
fact
now,
that
and
you
that's the
had-
fucking plot.
That's it.
But what was the last time, dude? When was the last time you scrolled the comedy section? Because Hall Pass is on
Nope.
there. The movie I meant, The Dilemma's on there.
I
They
really-
just dump these things.
I'm just really not into the comedy right now. I'm really into the, dramas or thrillers or something.
Cam, what comedy could you be into?
There's no
There's just
comedy.
nothing.
There hasn't been
That's-
there hasn't been a comedy in what was the last comedy movie?
That's what I'm saying. There's just nothing out there, and even the stuff that is being
Actually-
put out, I'm like,
I pinpoint it to I know what the last comedy movie
The Departed.
was. Yes, it was 2006, The Departed. And it was the best. It was the last comedy movie. It was the last horror movie. It was the last action movie. And it
Have
was
you
just
seen
the
I
last
think I know what
Wahlberg
you're
in
gonna say.
that?
I think I know what you're gonna say, and it's very metaphorical. It was at 2012.
exactly,
This is
exactly.
the end.
Was that 2012?
Oh, you know what? No. Well, maybe that would make sense because
that was good. I'm
That
trying
was-
to even think of
that would be funny. Because
what was the last
2012, the world's supposed to
comedies I've
end.
seen.
No, this is the end. In my opinion, was the last like.
Oh, excuse
really
me,
funny-
2013.
Yeah, whatever. That was like the
Chill.
last funniest movie that came out for sure.
The people that they cast in movies that are supposed to be funny aren't even funny people.
No,
anymore.
not even close.
Yeah.
And so that's the so that was the bubble. That was what was super weird is because, and I don't know if it's a guilt thing with Judd Apatow that he made a shit ton of money off of these kind of boner comedy, like dirty jokes. And remember, like Katherine Heigl said that Knocked Up was super chauvinistic or something, like basically making like movies for dudes. And so now he feels bad about that. So he makes all these like
For family movies,
I
family
think he-
comedies.
he produced. It's not even family. It's like edgy girl comedy, right? Like
Yeah.
Lena Dunham and stuff. I think he produced her show. Like he
Mm.
finds these people, and so you could tell in the bubble it was like, here are these really unfunny people that clearly somebody thought was funny and put them in the movie. And it was like there was nobody funny. So I was like, well, what? How can you have a
Damian Tomlinson.
Damian
LT.
There's a trope to add to your list, Ryan, when it's supposed to be a comedy and it's starring no funny people. That's when you know it's going to be bad.
It's
That's
a real
when you
death
know-
knell
yeah.
for comedy.
Yeah, that's when you know it's going to be a bad movie.
That's the trickiest trope of all.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? We saw over the weekend we were watching like a DVD and like it was going through like the previews on it, and That's My Boy was one of the previews on it, and I was like, and like I even watched through it, and I was like, I remember the only time I saw this was in the theater, and
We walked out.
probably ruined
Didn't
it
finish
for
it.
a lot of people that were in there.
Well, then
But-
we probably
Love
saved it for a lot of
that
people when we
movie.
walked out.
But
How are people enjoying that?
Dude, that's like, because from what I remember, that movie's like really dirty, right? He's just
It's
like
supposed to be-
constantly
he's
whacking
very
off
immature.
and screaming cuss
To
words.
remind you
the
guys,
storyline
the
is like
scene that incited the walkout was a reveal that there was incest happening.
Oh, that's right. That
wasn't
is
it
right.
like he was hooking up with a grandma or something like that?
No, he's hooking
or-
up with his sister.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
his
Sandberg's-
should-be wife
yeah.
was hooking up with her brother, and they explained it as in like which didn't. Wait a minute.
I don't remember this at all.
Wait, it didn't need to be in the movie though, because she had already hooked up with the boss too.
I don't remember the plot.
That was the whole thing, right? It
I
was
must
like,
have been way more
like,
drunk than I
where
remember. 'cause I don't
lady,
remember any of
I've
this.
seen it more than once.
She already had a divorceable discretion, and they
Yeah,
added that in
They
for no
added
reason.
That's
in
my
the
boy.
incest for just no reason. Like
This chick's
somebody
a real
really
piece of
has a
shit.
fetish.
Yeah.
I would have some watch out eyes on whoever wrote that movie because there's no need for that. She was like, "Oh,
It
I already
doesn't
hooked
push
Ryan
with
just
your
revealed
boss
himself.
to get you further
Ryan
ahead."
just revealed it. I've seen that movie so many times. I've studied it. That's my favorite part in the whole movie.
That's the only part I know.
Have you guys seen That's My Boy? So there's
Okay,
this
wait.
incest
We
part.
go back to talking
So-
about That's My Boy because there's this part in it.
I'm gonna pull up a clip. I'll pull up a
And I
clip.
don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean, I'm
Right? It's got to be weird, right?
like if
It's
somebody were
weird
to
for
do
sure.
that, I mean,
At their wedding.
Right?
Disgusting,
At
right?
their wedding.
I mean, you know, whatever. Circumstances may be different, but I don't know. That's got to have them. Where it's like, I was trying to think of some of the other tropes. I had so many. Oh, that's what it was. Where you're like, oh, this is terrible. Is modern day, current
Yes,
pop culture references in a movie.
of course.
And you're like,
of course. I knew you were going to say that
this isn't going to age. It's not funny now. So what are people going to think in 10 years when they have no idea what you're talking about? It's just like lazy.
too. It's
like-
for nobody.
Like, say, like, give an example, like, of a most recent
It'll
one.
be like, you know, if you reference the Kardashians, right? Or
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? In a joke, in a punchline to a joke where it's like, yeah, maybe that's hilarious to some idiot, you know, 6 months ago. But like,
Or like you said, like a TikTok dance star. or
and
whatever.
so
Yeah.
I'll implement it in a regular movie series that is we love, right? Austin Powers. Each one gets worse and worse and worse. Guess what? Each one has more and more like, hey, Mike Myers
I'm on the
is
Subway
doing
diet.
Jay-Z, you know,
Yeah.
rap with Mini Me, right? Like, isn't that funny that it's Jay-Z and he's dressed up like the music video or like the Pepsi commercial, you know, with the Britney Spears or whatever. I think that's an Austin Powers too, right?
I think Gold Member.
In Gold, even better, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the third one. Like it gets worse and worse,
Yeah.
and because they get worse and worse, or maybe it's a circular reference, like you see more of that pop culture reference until you get the maximum pop culture reference where it refuses to even be a movie, which is those I'm a 41-year-old virgin who hooked up with or knocked up my Sarah Marshall and felt really super bad about it. Have you ever seen those? Or like Disaster Movie?
Oh no, I haven't seen
Yeah.
those. No.
Those like parody movies, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like
Yeah, the parodies.
superhero
Yeah, the parodies.
movie whatever. There
Yeah.
was the first one was I guess I'm sure they have no plot whatsoever, but the first one was a parody on Judd Apatow movies. To bring it all back, it was called like
Date movie, right? Or something
no, it
like
was
that, or-
it was literally called
That
like
title you just said, that long.
yeah,
title.
it was like
Yeah.
It's like
I
all the titles put
knocked
together
up,
into
yeah,
one.
I knocked up
Yeah.
Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it, like or something like that. Like
Oh,
all
I didn't know.
the
I've never
titles
heard
in a
of that.
row. That type of movie is like not a movie, right? It is just like incessant, right? Like the Hulk's in it, right? Freaking whoever, you know, Ariana Grande is herself, or somebody dressed up like her, and that's the joke. Is
I'll-
that she exists.
I'll throw
My
out
trope-
That's
Oh, you guys got
Okay.
tropes? I got tropes. You guys got
Go
tropes?
ahead, Kyle.
trope it.
My trope is time travel movies, or like anything to do with like time
yeah,
travel.
You know,
Like,
a
that's
movie's
like my
gonna be bad
biggest
if it's
thing.
about time travel.
Because they
But-
just you did. I mean, at one point they just make up their own rules, but like they don't follow their own rules. You know, like they all do like their own rules, like when they do it.
So
No,
you're
I
just saying
get it.
that's
You just fall out of the story because you're sitting there being like, oh, that's not even following the same rules what it was
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I get what
just
you're
a
saying.
way-
Like,
it's just
present
a
me the
means to
rules, that's fine,
justify
your own
doing
rules.
it.
Yeah, but follow
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
I watched Back to the Future for the first time like freaking a year ago, and was
Oh, wow.
like, this is not that good.
Oh, really?
I'm
I
not
like
seeing
I
what all
like
the
Back
hype
to
is
the
about.
Future.
I thought it was a great movie.
Another
like
one
Back
where
to
it
the
gets
Future,
worse and worse each sequel.
No,
Yeah,
First one's
each
pretty
even
good.
sequel just gets
I like the
annihilated.
second one more than the first
You like
one.
Back to the Future 2?
Yeah,
Act
definitely.
2, the future?
Yeah, definitely.
What's it called? Okay, so the trope I was gonna throw out was when it's like a young kid who has like a dirty mouth, and that's like
Oh,
his main attraction is just
Yes.
I'm the
Flowers.
Yeah,
Foul mouth kid.
That
I'm
is
the foul mouthed kid. You know,
that is the lowest form of comedy. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we talk about much lower forms, but that is so low, and that's
Yeah.
such a good one because
The
that
one-
is literally like that is there. No intelligence, no writing isn't needed, right?
nothing. You just-
Kid says fuck.
yeah, it's like the one I was thinking of is I Love You Man. No, not I Love You Man.
Role models.
Role Models. There you go. Role Models and the youngest kid,
That's
Ronnie.
in so many movies though. That
Yeah.
literally is like, or the PG version of it where it's like the super intelligent kid that can say things that adults say, right? Like
What's the show? What's that show?
Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. But no, the fucking
Young Sheldon.
Yes, Young Sheldon. Yes.
I mean, that's the exception. That's just great comedy.
That's just great stuff. Technically.
Well, did
Pie
anybody see Old with the M Night Shyamalan movie?
Uh-uh.
They
Is
have
it-
that, and that's
is
mainly
that,
because M Night
Nobody
Shyamalan
saw
is
it.
a hack writer.
Nobody saw that.
What's the plot of that one?
They go
think
to an
I know.
island and they
yeah,
get
yeah,
old.
yeah, yeah.
And
Like
which
reverse
is-
M. Night
Candyman?
Shyamalan
that's
makes another
That's a
movie.
great example of like, oh, that could have been a cool idea under a director who is not crazy and has little kids say like, "Hello, I'm Thomas. What are your ages and occupations?" Like that's literally dialogue, and you're like, okay.
Well, to skew a little bit though, if you guys haven't seen it on Apple TV, there's that show called Servant.
I heard
It's
it's
M.
super
Night-
good.
Yeah, it's M. Night Shyamalan. He's like the main writer on it, and him and his daughter, I believe, are the main writer/director duo. And
I don't know if I have Apple Plus or Apple
dude,
TV
it's
Plus.
Apple TV has so much good stuff right now. It's well
Like the
worth
Jen
it.
Aniston Reese Witherspoon talk show.
No,
show?
like Severance is the new show, Ben Stiller's show that he came out with.
I hear saw him whatever,
That's
advertising
super
it on
good.
shows
Yeah,
lately.
Servant's good. There's a whole bunch of them that we've been watching, but it's well worth it. It has, like obviously Ted Lasso's on there.
Oh, Severance has Adam Scott in it,
Yeah, no, and he's amazing in it.
and the guy. Oh wait, no, that's a different show. That's
He's the guy from You,
oh
whatever his name is.
whatever. Dude.
Yeah.
So I was showing Viv that guy. So Penn Badgley, whatever.
Mhm.
I guess he at one point dated Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
So there's like side by side frames on the internet of like whoever he's dating now, some white lady, and he's dressed all like the You guy. And then back when he was dating Zoe Kravitz, he has like dreadlocks, and these are real. This is not like a Photoshop. He like just dressed like all like chains and like dreadlocks, and you're like, bro, what are you?
He's looking like Adrian Brody from
It's like
Saturday Night
when
Live.
you start dating a girl who smokes cigarettes, and you're like, yeah, all right.
Guess that's my thing now. Yeah.
Too.
I guess I'm a cigarette smoker now.
That's crazy.
Well, I
know
never
for sure that
smoked
Cam and I have
before,
both
but
done that.
this chick's
Yeah.
hot, so better pick up a Marlboro.
Can I get a
Never
pack of Marlboro Reds
I'm
and a
finding
lighter?
out, I never smoked before, but
And
I'm
a
finding out I'm more of a Parliament guy myself.
I like a Pall
I like
Mall.
these. These are the best.
You're smoking it backwards.
My head hurts.
Oh.
It's
Ooh,
yummy.
I like the Marlboro because of the flavor.
I don't know.
My girlfriend smokes cigarettes, but I'm really into tobacco gum now. I don't know why.
Tobacco gum.
It's delicious.
That's
chewing
Trident.
tobacco, and you're
No,
not
I
supposed
just
to swallow
I
it.
just get Orbit gum and I take her cigarette butts and I just mash them together.
He's like, shit.
like you're doing it to match her coolness level, but you're doing something insane.
Rolling
makes
it
no
like it's your own cigarette.
Yeah, that's my boyfriend. He rolls bubble gum up with the old cigarette.
He's been doing that his whole life? No, he said he started doing it when he met me.
And it's mostly just filter. He's literally just chewing filter.
I would prefer he did nothing at all.
You guys want to see me blow a bubble?
Oh my god.
Can you leave?
That's disgusting.
Back to tropes.
That was a good one.
Tyler,
what you
Tyler
got?
had one. Yeah.
That's besides when it's a comedy and there's not funny people in it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones too.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get into things like, and once again, then it becomes like a circular reference. Like, is it bad because this happens, or does this happen because it's bad?
Yeah.
Like, I would say, like, when characters drop out of the movie altogether, like in what's the big Stain Cook movie, where you're like
Employee of the month.
Jason Biggs. That's the one I
of
mentioned.
My Best Friend's Girl, where they forget what the plot is
yeah,
halfway through the movie, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it was about my best friend's girl. I guess we should probably bring the best friend back." And Jason Biggs just comes it back after like an hour of the movie
Nah, man,
passing,
you
and it's
can
like,
have her.
"Hey, what's up?" And then the movie ends. They run to credits right after they bring him back. You're like, "Oh yeah."
Hey man, I need you to get my girlfriend back for me. Hey, actually, I kind of like her. That's cool, man. You can have her.
That's the plot.
That's probably a trope right there, is when the title of the movie is named after an already existing song or piece of media.
And then they put that song 5 times.
Exactly.
In the
And then that's the lead of the movie.
Wow, that's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
There was
She's
just
My
a
best
movie.
friend's girlfriend.
What the Cameron Diaz one, the girl movie.
When Cameron Diaz.
There's
is in the
something
movie,
about Mary.
Yes, I love that song.
No,
There's
Sweetest
something
Thing.
about
Sweetest
Mary.
Thing.
What?
Sweetest Thing.
Sweetest Thing. Yeah. So I, because I had never seen it, I asked Viv. I go, how far into the movie before they start going, "Oh, it's the sweetest thing," and she's like, "I don't think it's in the movie." Sure enough, soon as the credits roll, whoa!
Yeah.
That was like a big thing in the 90s, wasn't it? Where like the title of the movie was like the song.
That Thing You Do.
We don't know what to call this thing.
Superman 4. Quest
Parent
for Hope.
Trap.
Dude, that one movie, Freak on a Leash. That movie was crazy.
Ahead of its time.
I got one. A big guy, little guy comedy duo.
Mm.
Like
how many-
like
how
the
many
goofy
are
sidecock, the goofy
That's-
sidekick.
That's
Like
true,
Twins?
except for Twins. Twins is actually funny. but
That's the only one.
that's
Kevin
true
Hart
for
and The
every-
Rock,
Yeah,
you're
that's
talking
true
about,
for
I'm
every
sure?
other situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart and The Rock. I've never seen Twins. I just assumed that was terrible.
I
Because
love
it's like
Arnold
I
they
Schwarzenegger.
like
got
everything
suits
Arnold. Yeah,
on.
I like everything
I
Arnold.
can't say anything against Arnold.
Never.
He's a friend of the
Never.
pod, so I get it.
Absolutely.
No,
I would
actually,
never.
now that I
would never
remember it,
disrespect Arnold Schwarzenegger.
the new Jumanji movies were actually really funny.
No.
Thinking of The Rock and Kevin Hart, yeah, I thought they were actually entertaining enough.
The chick that
Oh.
Karen Gillian,
Yeah.
or whatever, she's in it. She's in that Bubble movie for absolutely no reason. She's
Ah.
characterless. That is shocking that they are good. Are they on anything? I'm gonna give you it a chance.
Watch the first one at least. It's actually pretty funny. I actually liked it. Jack Black's good in it. I've always liked Jack Black, even though he's a little over the top.
I feel like Jack Black has become a caricature of himself. I feel like that happens
He
to
is.
everybody.
He is,
Oh.
but he actually plays it pretty well in this one because he has to play
As
a
good
girl.
as Jim Carrey as the Eggman.
Oh, are you talking
Isn't
about
that
Sonic?
guy's name? Isn't that guy's
Yeah,
bad
Dr.
guy?
Eggman?
Dr.
Dr. Eggman?
Robotnik.
No, it's
No,
Dr. Eggman.
Dr. Eggman for sure, or Egg Boy.
Eggman is what Nicolas Cage was saying he wanted to do in Batman.
I think it's just Egg.
Eggo.
Yeah.
Egg
Nicolas Cage. I
Boy.
think I sent it to you guys. The story that Seth Rogen tells about Nick Cage trying to get in on that Green Hornet, where he does this like soliloquy in a Jamaican accent, and Seth Rogen's like,
Yeah.
that's not in the script.
No, he thought that he went up to he thought that James Franco, he thought that he told James Franco that story, and then James Franco was that character for Spring Breakers. And then when he saw Spring Breakers, which I believe is also A24, I think,
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
he approached Seth Rogen and was like, "Hey man, like
What the
told
fuck?
you that story in confidence or whatever."
Like, so imagine being that big of an egomaniac that you
Yeah.
give this insane performance about a white black guy that they run from the hills to get away from, that you think in your mind that is so good that the guy you presented to was like, I'm gonna take that idea and I'm gonna give it to somebody else, and it's that good that it's just that guy's gonna love it too.
We don't want you doing it.
But we
But I know
want
the perfect guy.
James
on the other end.
disgraced Franco.
Well, it's not
James,
solely your name, Nick. I got this guy who will do it, no problem.
well, talking about movies that terrified you, I guess, like what was a movie that you remember seeing as like a super young kid and just being like, whoa, like just scarred from it?
Traumatized? Yeah, traumatized, scarred. Oh, I'll have to think of that.
Like as a little kid, because for me it definitely was the Tim Curry where the part where he's in the shower and he opens up the drain and he comes out of the shower, and like when I took a shower I just stared at the drain the whole time, like because I thought he was going to come out of there.
I saw
That
so I have a story. My story was my sister had her, I think it was like her 12th birthday party, her 12th or 13th birthday party, and they had like a big old sleepover. All the girls slept over at my house, and they watched the first I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Mhm.
And then in the morning, they obviously all woke up and there was breakfast in the house, and it wasn't the room wasn't off limits anymore, so I can go down into the TV room. So they put on I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, the second one. And I sat there as like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old watching this slasher movie and just terrified. I've never seen like a scary movie. I haven't seen a killer movie or anything. So I'm sitting there just like, what is this? And this guy's just getting fucking hooked through the neck, like, people are getting slaughtered, and I'm just going like, oh. And I watched the entire thing, and my mom didn't come in and stop to watch the entire movie, and then I was terrified of people behind doors,
Jennifer
or
Love Hewitt.
scary men breaking. Yeah,
I think
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
for me, I think when I was a kid, it was the opening scene of Scream. when Drew Barrymore's
Mhm.
hanging from the
Drew
tree.
Barrymore.
Yeah, I used to
Oh,
watch
God.
Scream a lot, but I would always fast forward through the intro. Now, because I still like that movie, and when I do watch it, that's like the best scene of the movie. Obviously, it's like the most
It is.
most
It's so
well,
gnarly.
critically acclaimed scene. But at the time, like
Yeah.
just the image of her hanging from the tree. I remember I'd always like close my eyes and shit.
Ryan, do you have a
I was honestly way too sheltered. I didn't see like any scary movies till I was probably like 12 or 13. I remember being like, we would rent movies, and so it wouldn't be like things. It's going to sound so pathetic. Like I remember being really scared at Domestic Disturbance. Remember that movie
Oh, I
with
thought you
John
meant like a
Travolta and Vince
literal
Vaughn?
domestic disturbance. Like,
Yeah, there was a movie going
Kevin
on
is
in the
just
house.
getting
Yeah,
screaming.
no cameras.
He's got a tire iron.
Is it-
He's going after my mom. Oh, you guys talking about movies?
It's a
Oh,
movie,
favorite
Ryan.
movie.
It's a movie.
It's
It's a movie, Ryan.
movie.
Film this for proof.
Oh
No,
my
there was a
God.
movie that came
I'm not
out
letting
where
your
like,
mom take you.
where like Vince
And
Vaughn.
cut.
Yeah, there's a movie where like Vince Vaughn is like the stepdad. And I don't know if it was like because my parents were always like on the verge of getting divorced, obviously. So I don't know if I just thought that that could happen, that Vince Vaughn's like actually a serial killer, but he's a super nice guy. And then of course, by the end of the movie, he's like, freaking out and trying to kill both the kid and the mom. And John Travolta's the real dad that has to come back at the last second and save him. And he's got a crazy mullet. It's a good movie. But yeah, I
Face Off.
remember being like really scared at the end of that movie for whatever reason. It's not like a horror movie. It's just like a stupid,
Fucking
stupid fucking
traumatizing.
home front Jason Statham movie
It was a disturbance. Domestic.
of domestic status,
Domestic proportion.
Proportions.
domestic proportions. and like I said, why that would be embarrassing. That movie came out in 2001. I was 12.
Well,
Yeah.
So way too old
to be getting scared.
Dude, I
It
saw
was nice.
I-
It was
I saw-
nice.
Sleepy Hollow, the Johnny Depp one. I saw
Oh,
that
yeah.
January
that movie.
1st, 2000. Like with my dad.
Dude.
We
Yeah.
have another incident where it
Oh,
ends
yeah.
up with these
Oh,
two
yeah.
like Irish guys or British guys or
Wearing
whatever. One of
kilts.
them's in a kilt.
One had a kilt on.
Both
so
of
he's
them.
Scottish.
Okay, one of them had a kilt or both of them had a kilt. Somehow, of course, wants to make friends with anybody than the bride he came with, right?
Yeah.
Like, anybody but the group he came with, he wants to be friends with. So he, of course, ends up back in their room. These two random fucking guys that are like middle-aged. And so to kill the party, these guys made it like abundantly clear to him that they were gonna fuck. It's like
Each other in front of
yes.
everybody?
They
Because
were
that
in
sounds awesome.
because
It was
those
just
two
them
guys,
three
just
in the room.
those three. So thankfully, or at least as the story's told, he left the room when that became clear. But once again, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. You know the adage. This is like the
Fool me
third
10
time that
times.
that's happened, right? Where it's been like, I can name 0 situations where I'm like, oh, you know what? I misread a situation and
Exactly.
a dude was trying to drill me. Like that has happened 0 times to me. Like
I've never gone up to another man who I met at the bar to his hotel room.
Hotel room.
Like, if at any point my night is about to end and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go back up to my room," I'm be like, "Cool, man.
I didn't want to go to your
I'm not
guys'
going.
room. I didn't want to go to your guys' room.
Yeah. I don't want to even go to my own friend's room."
you
know?
know, my room.
But that's so I'm shocked that more crazy shit hasn't happened to him, or maybe it has.
It
And we
has,
just
you
don't know.
about it. There's
Because
no-
to Cam,
dude.
to your point, that level that somebody gets on, that like internal clockwork in the back of your head that's like, this is dangerous. This
Yeah.
is stupid.
Maybe I should
This could
slow
end
down.
in a male anal tearing. Like none of those things are firing. Where I think even in the people's drunkest state, there's still like a survival mechanism that's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, yeah, like, hey man, there's gonna be repercussions for this tomorrow. Like, don't humiliate yourself. And then, but in his head, it's going, hey, you're just having a fun time. Like, what's the problem?
So he's just kind of warming up before the girls come in here, right?
They're like hammering each other.
We're almost
Okay,
there.
okay, yeah, I see what you guys are doing. You're testing each other out.
Well, hey,
seeing
we
what
gotta
they're
warm
made
up,
of.
fellas.
You
He
warm
said
up,
almost there
okay?
100 times.
I'll just
Okay.
I'll put something on TV.
I'll put the game on. Wait for the chicks to get here. Am I right?
I'll just pour a drink.
Oh, guys, you're gonna wear yourself out before the chicks.
These guys know how to party, am I right? Talking to nobody.
Man, they are getting rock hard for these chicks. Oh my god. Okay, they're testing out their mouths. Making sure they're nice and lubricated.
You guys,
wanna be-
you're gonna get
don't
all the
wanna
way
be
there
rusty.
before the girls show up. You're going way too fast.
The ladies are on their way, fellas.
I
Rust,
get it.
rust over rust, am I right?
It's like one of those things where you like to get one out before they get here.
Oh, bang one out so you last longer. I get it. I get it.
I
Not
totally
quite,
know
not
that
quite
trick.
my style.
You guys
you
are
don't
old
wanna bust
pros.
You don't want to bust quick. So you get a nut first before the girls get here.
We're going there with a full cannon. What are you talking about?
I get it. You got to empty each other out. You get it. I get it.
They're
Okay.
pals, old pals wearing
Oh my
killed.
fucking god!
You guys know what you're doing, man. My
These
friends
guys-
are. They
Hey,
don't
these
get
guys
it.
are a bunch of puss hounds, aren't they? You know.
I feel like I've known you guys my whole life.
Oh my god.
Leave.
My friends are a bunch of squares compared to you guys.
You guys know how to party for sure.
Just two hairy Irish guys hammering each other, and he's slapping him on the back. Yeah, am I right?
Get out.
We're a couple of old hound dogs.
Fuck out.
We're a couple old poon hounds. Me, you, this guy.
The three ladies, man, right here.
Oh my god!
Sir, you're in the middle of a male orgy.
Maybe I should rub one out too. I don't want to be. I don't want to be the guy who comes first at the orgy. You're masturbating. These guys having sex.
You know, if anybody
You don't
else
get
didn't
it.
know us as well as we do, this would look kind of, I don't know,
Kind of suspect.
kind of
you know? Like,
suspect. But because I know
Be a
you
little
guys so
weird.
well, I
since
know.
I talked to you guys for the last 30 minutes, I know.
I
what you
know
guys
that
are up
a
to.
couple guys like us, you can't make an old dog learn new tricks. I'll tell you that.
You know, I was gonna leave. 30 minutes ago. I'm glad I didn't.
Oh my
This is the
fucking
craziest
god!
wedding I've ever been to.
This is the craziest wedding I've ever been to. No one from
Not
the
a part of the wedding.
no one from the wedding. No one involved.
I'll see if my
Midnight.
I'll check if my buddy Ryan will let you guys come.
Hey, it's midnight. Yo, you guys gotta come over
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Frank's
yeah,
room.
yeah. You gotta meet these
You
guys.
gotta
Who
come
the
over. My,
fuck is
these
Frank?
guys are poon hounds.
There's a fucking kilt hanging off the lamp.
On what happened in here? It fucking
Oh.
stinks in here. What the hell happened? Now listen, the chicks are on their way.
But just another episode in the Three Ladies Men Lives. What can I say?